Hello class, I hope buhay pa kayo after your defense and congratulations to everyone na defended ang kanilang research. Ayan. So you will be given 1 week to revise your research. Pero hindi porket revision, hindi na tayo mag-discuss or mag-lecture. Tuloy ang buhay sa IO. Okay, so welcome to our discussion about chapter 11, leadership. Okay, so nasa final, na tayo, final period. So I think mga nasa 4 topics pa or 3 topics. Hindi ako sure, pero mga ganon. Na i-cover natin sa final period natin. So before I start, let me explain to you the learning objectives. So we have here 5 learning objectives. It is to distinguish, identify, compare, explain, and analyze. So kailangan you know how to distinguish yung leader emergence and leader performance. You should be able to identify the traits, needs, orientations associated with successful leadership. Compare major situational theories including Fiedler's contingency model and impact theory. Explain how leaders adapt to subordinates through path, goal, and situational leadership theories, and analyze the impact of power and visionary leadership on organizational success. Okay, so let us proceed with the introduction. Ayan. Ang leadership, it has been studied for many years. And yung mga expert, gumawa sila ng iba't ibang theories para i-explain yung leadership. So wala ni isang theory ang nagpapaliwanag about leadership. Pero each theory, nagbibigay sila ng useful ideas which is backed up by research. O, di ba kapag research, lagi siyang back up by theory. Parang yung mga theories ninyo nung sa research ninyo, narinig ko merong gumamit ng Bronfenbrenner, may gumamit ng Maslow, may gumamit ng family systems theory, yung mga yan. So, ganun din si leadership. May mga theories but it is backed up by research. So, it is important yung leadership kasi it affects kung paano tayo pipili ng leaders and also paano natin ititrain yung mga managers. Ano nga ba yung mga personal characteristics of leaders? So, we have the leader emergence, yung unang-una. Pag leader emergence kasi, simply, sino yung leader na aangat? Who becomes a leader? So, itong idea na to galing siya sa trait theory na sinasabi na yung ibang tao, they are more likely to become leaders dahil sa traits nila. Ibig sabihin dahil sa personality and abilities nila. So, walang leadership gene na tinatawag. Pero may mga tao na ipinanganak sila with certain traits. Traits meaning personality and abilities. Meron sila nun na mas more likely to become leaders. Para bang naka-imprint na sa personality and abilities nila na they are born to be leaders. So people are more likely to become leaders kung open-minded sila. Ibig sabihin, they are willing to try new things. Mataas ang conscientious nila or they are responsible and organized. They are extroverted or yung mga extroverts. They are creative, they are confident or dominant, and they are emotionally stable. Ibig sabihin, mababa ang anxiety nila and also yung stress. Yung mga other factors that describe yung leaders are high self-monitor sila. Ibig sabihin ng high self-monitors, nakaka-adjust sila sa behavior depende sa sitwasyon. Parang nai-apply ko to sa psychsoc kasi kunwari galit ako sa psychsoc. Tapos may nakita akong tao na hindi ko kagalit. Alam mo yun, tas nagsabay sila. Parang ang bilis ko dapat mag-change ng behavior. Kailangan pag nakita ko ng psychsoc, masungit ako. 'Pag nakita ko yung kakilala ko magshi-shift ako agad dapat, ah, friendly ako parang mga gano'n. So, they can adjust behavior depende dun sa sitwasyon. Yung mga taong may high self-monitors, they are more likely to become leaders. Uy, become leaders, yan. And also, um, they are more intelligent individuals. They tend to emerge as leaders. Yung mga matatalino, yan. But remember, hindi lang iisang trait ang tinataglay ng isang leader. Kailangan combination niya ng iba't ibang traits. Bakit kaya walang isang perfect leader trait? Kasi people become leaders because of different reasons din. Una dyan is yung motivation to lead is complex and hindi lang siya about personality. Okay, mamaya itong leader performance i-discuss ko siya. Dito muna tayo sa motivation to lead. Okay? So we have three types of motivation to lead. And according to research, ang mga tao, they lead because of different reasons. Yung una, affective identity motivation na kung saan na-enjoy nila maging leader, gusto nila sila yung in charge, gusto nila sila yung nagga-guide sa ibang tao. O example, ang isang student na nagvo-volunteer na maging group leader kasi gusto nila na organize yung team. Another motivation to lead or type is non-calculative motivation. Ang sinasabi dito, nagli-lead sila because of personal benefits or rewards. Example, isang student gusto niya ng leadership role because of promotion or recognition. For example, tabi-tabi, bato-bato sa langit, wala akong gustong tamaan pero example lang 'to. Example isang organization, nagjo-join lang sila sa organization because they wanted awards on their graduation. But hindi sila nagwo-work well or hindi talaga sila nagfa-function. Parang clout lang na, ay sali ako ng organization para pag-graduate ko may hakot award ako, parang mga gano'n. So this is an example of non-calculative motivation. Kapag social normative motivation naman, nagli-lead sila dahil feeling nila ito yung duty nila or responsibility nila. Example, ang isang class officer, nagli-lead siya kasi feeling nila they are responsible para sa mga kaklase nila. Okay? Merong sense of duty, kumbaga. So, dito na tayo sa leader performance. Nang double check ko lang yung ano nyo, study mat. Okay. So, while waiting, you can, ang tawag ito, pwede nyong i-times 2 yung explanation para mabilis. Wait lang Okay, yan. As per checking doon sa handouts ninyo, no, there are parts ng ating PowerPoint na hindi ko na isali galing sa study mats. Pero di-discuss ko pa rin siya. So, please follow na lang din yung study mats ninyo kung hindi nyo siya makita dito sa PowerPoint. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Bear with me. Okay, dito na tayo sa leader performance. So, kung si leader, pangalan nun, kalimutan ko tuloy. Si leader emergence, ang sinasabi niya, who becomes a leader? Or sino ang aangat na leader? Si leader performance naman, gaano kagaling yung isang leader? So, leader performance, it is about how well a person actually leads. Nagpo-focus siya dun sa idea na yung ibang tao, they are better leaders kaysa sa iba because yung personal characteristics nila. And ang good leaders, meron siyang certain qualities na poor leaders wala or hindi nila taglay yung qualities na yon. And we have three areas na pwede makaapekto sa leader performance. And this is backed up by research. So una yung traits, yung needs and orientation. When we say traits, this is the personality of a leader kagaya ng in-explain ko kanina. So research shows na merong certain personality traits na nalilink for better leadership performance. 'Di ba nabanggit ko kanina yung traits ng effective leaders like extraversion, openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. Kailangan outgoing, kailangan open siya sa bagong ideas, kailangan kind and cooperative, and also responsible and organized. Yung actually imagine niyo yung ocean. Ocean means openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, and agreeableness. Yung naliligaw na isa si letter N, yun yung trait ng poor leadership. So letter N is neuroticism. It is being easily stressed, bilis siyang magkaroon ng anxiety and or meron siyang unstable na emotion. So, yung mga leaders daw na confident, open, responsible, at kalmado, they tend to perform better. Okay. Self-monitoring. Explain ko ba to kanina? So, self-monitoring means, yun nga, na-explain ko to kanina. Nag-a-adjust yung behavior depende dun sa sitwasyon. Kagaya ng example ko kanina. Hmm, okay. Okay. We also have yung cognitive ability or yung thinking skills ng isang leader. It is hindi lang siya about thinking kasi ito yung paano niya naiintindihan at papaano niya i-solve yung mga problema. Ang mga leaders daw, they perform better kapag hindi sila stress or they are not distracted. Meron silang ginagamit na directive style para makapagbigay ng clear instructions. So according to Robert Sternberg, ang good leadership daw ay combination ng tatlong bagay: intelligence, creativity, and wisdom. So when we say intelligence, magaling sa academics, magaling sa practical. Ayan. Pag sinabi natin kasing academic, yan sa school. And pag practical naman, yung real life problem solving. Sa creativity naman, this is your ability to think of new ideas and solutions. And when we say wisdom, ito yung abilidad mo as a leader para makagawa ka ng good decisions for the common good or for the benefit of your members. So, a great leader, dapat is smart siya, meron siyang wise decisions, and also creative. Another, we have needs or what motivates a leader. Ang needs, ina-explain niya bakit ang isang tao gusto niyang mag-lead. So, we have the need for power, wherein meron siyang desire to control or influence others. Example, gusto niyang mag-guide ng isang team or gusto niyang magdesisyon para sa team. Kumbaga, inaako niya yung responsibility, ganon, or meron siyang accountability. Next is yung need for achievement. It is the desire to succeed and do well. And need for affiliation, yung desire ng isang leader para makatayo siya ng relasyon, build relationships, and also magustuhan siya. So, according to McClelland, meron tayong, sandali lang may check lang ako ulit. Ayan, David McClelland, to be exact. May ginawa siyang research and sabi niya, ng mga effective leaders, meron silang pattern. So, yung pattern na yan is high need for power plus low need for affiliation. Pag pinagsama mo yan, equals effective leaders. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Sabi kasi ni McClelland, ang good leaders, they want to lead and influence others. Hindi sila nagfo-focus masyado doon sa kagustuhan ng mga tao sa kanila. Pero it doesn't mean na ang leader should be rude or uncaring. Instead, kailangan meron silang care sa mga members nila. At the same time, they prioritize yung goals and decisions over popularity. Okay. Okay, so there are ways how we measure yung needs ng mga leaders. Yan. So, ang mga psychologists, they use different tools to understand yung pangangailangan ng mga leaders. Yung binanggit kong tatlo kanina, yung need for power, achievement, and affiliation. So, first we have thematic apperception test or TAT. Isa itong projective test na kung saan ini-interpret yung pictures. So, papakitaan yung examinee ng images and tatanungin sila kung ano ang gagawin nilang story, isusulat nila. So, itong stories na ginawa ng examinee, nire-reveal niya kung anong klaseng tao siya. Kung anong gusto niya, yan, yung power, yung success, relationships. And ito yung pinaka commonly used method to identify if merong potential characteristics yung isang tao to become a leader. Next, we have the job choice exercise or JCE. Isa naman siyang objective test. Iba ang projective sa objective. So, pwede niyo yung i-search, no? Pag sinabi kasi nating projective, ito yung mga test na kung saan may gumagamit ng ambiguous stimuli. Ambiguous meaning hindi siya gano'n ka-clear. Kumbaga, yung mga ink blot test like Rorschach, ink blot test, like ano pa ba mga pictures. Sa maraming projective test. And, lang. Kasama na din dito sa projective test yung thematic apperception and yung sentence completion test or SCT. So, itong mga projective test kasi na to, sila ay nagbibigay ng open-ended responses na pwedeng mag-reveal ng unconscious or hidden emotions or internal conflicts ng isang tao. And as psychometricians, no, magiging psychometricians kayo soon, hindi nyo to pwedeng i-administer. I mean, hindi nyo siya pwedeng i-interpret pala kasi si psychologist ang mag-i-interpret. And projective tests, they are considered level C. Kasi level C ang projective test kasi kailangan bago ka mag-interpret ng projective test, meron kang advanced knowledge, specific training sa test administration and interpretation. And nire-require ang licensed psychologist. Pwede din PhD, Doctor of Psychology, ganyan, para i-administer and sila na rin ang mag-score. Okay, pati rin yung draw a person test at saka house 3-person test, mga projective test yung mga yan. Puro test, no? Pwede mo siyang i-administer as psychometrician but with the guidance of psychologist. And ito, tandaan ang projective test, they are considered level C test. Other than yung mga hindi projective test, considered sila as level B test. Level B, ibig sabihin psychometrician, teacher, mga ganyan. Wait lang ah. Okay, let's proceed. Saan na tayo? 'Pag sinabi naman nating objective test, ito yung mga structured, yung mga self-report questionnaires o yung mga sinagutan yung MB, yung MMPI, MBTI, mga ganyan. Yun yung mga objective test naman kasi standardized sila. True or false or kaya Likert scale siya. Likert scale yung mga yan. And job choice exercise is an example of objective test. So, paano siya gumagana? May mga babasahin kang iba't ibang job description and then i-rate mo siya kung gaano mo kagusto yung trabaho. And each job, nagre-reflect siya ng power, achievement, and affiliation, which is yung three needs. So, sabi ng research, men and women, they are equally effective leaders. Pero ang mga babae, mas madalas silang magpakita ng behavior that is linked to high quality leadership. Like for example, supportive, they are collaborative. Kasi nga, ang personality ng mga babae, they are nurturing. Merong care palagi. Yeah, mas mataas daw na malink sila sa high quality leadership. But remember that leadership is not based on gender always. Okay, next is, masakit na lang pa ako. Lang. Next is yung task versus person orientation. So, in-explain ito kung paano dapat mag-behave ang mga leaders. So, mga leaders, if they are person-oriented, they should focus doon sa mga tao and relationships. Kailangan friendly sila, supportive, kailangan caring sila, ganyan. And if they are under pressure, pwede silang mag-withdraw. Pag task-oriented leaders naman, they focus on goals and tasks. And they give instructions, nagbibigay sila ng clear goals, and inaayos nila yung trabaho. But if they are under the weather or under pressure, they become strict or controlling and also anxious. Yung managerial grid naman, pinapakita niya yung iba't ibang leadership styles based doon sa concern para sa tao at concern doon sa trabaho or sa task. Sa team leadership, tama ba? Andito na tayo. Yan. Saan na yung kanina? Yan. Sa team leadership, mataas yung concern nila sa mga tao at sa trabaho. So, balance siya at effective. Kapag impoverished leadership or this is the worst style, mababa ang concern nila for both people and tasks. And yung pagiging leader niya is inactive or uninterested. Pag middle of the road leadership naman, ito na pumapasok yung concern para sa both ng factors, yung sinasabi ko kanina, and yung performance nila is average. Paano nga ba tayo magiging or how do we measure leadership style? So first, kailangan meron tayong leadership opinion questionnaire. If you fill out yan ng leader and i-measure kung paano nila tignan yung mga sarili nila, gire-gradean nila. And pag leadership behavior naman, leadership behavior description questionnaire or LBDQ, they fill out it is filled out by subordinates. So, sinusukat niyan kung papaano nakikita ng isang tao yung hagdanan. Ayun, sorry class, nakalimutan ko saan ako nag-stop. Na kasi ako, na-distract ako while recording yung discussion. Pero let me start with, asan na yun? With managerial grade, ayan. Sa managerial sa managerial grade class, wala siya dito sa PowerPoint, but please base my explanation dun sa ating study mats. When we say managerial grade, yung leadership style. So, nagpapakita siya ng iba't ibang leadership styles base sa concern niya sa tao at concern doon sa task. So una, meron tayong team leadership. So ito yung isa sa mga best leadership style kasi mataas yung concern niya sa people or sa mga tao at sa task. And it is balanced and also effective. Kapag impoverished leadership, it is the worst style. Mababa ang concern niya for both people and yung task. And yung leader, inactive siya or hindi siya ganun ka-interesado sa pagiging leader niya. Meron din tayong middle of the road leadership. Middle of the road leadership. Okay. So sa middle of the road leadership, um, yung concern niya sa people and tasks, moderate lang. Kumbaga, average ang performance niya. So, ang mga best leaders, they care about people, nagfo-focus sila sa goals, and they balance both yung people and tasks. So, paano natin i-measure ngayon yung leadership? We measure leadership using the Leadership Opinion Questionnaire or LOQ. So, fini-fill out to ng isang leader. Mini-measure niya kung paano niya nakikita yung sarili niya. Another is yung Leader Behavior Description Questionnaire or yung LBDQ. It is filled out by subordinates or the members. So, sinusukat niya kung paano naman nila nakikita yung leader. Explain ko lang yung Fury X leaders, no? So, when we say Fury X leaders, sinasabi nila na ang mga employees daw unmotivated sila, ayaw nilang magtrabaho, and umiiwas sila sa responsibility. At dahil dyan, kailangan nila ng constant supervision or kailangan authoritative yung leader. Ang characteristics ng mga Theory X leaders, they micromanage. Yung bang met-met, chine-check yung trabaho ng employee. Sabi ko nga kanina, authoritative, meron silang authoritarian style na kung saan yung decision making is centralized. Walang input ang employee sa decision making. So, ginagamit ang Theory X kapag sa mga scenarios like malaki ang dapat i-manage and yung team is unskilled and kailangan silang pukpukin, kumbaga. Yung mga Theory Y naman na leaders, they are self-driven, kabaliktaran sila ng Theory X. Kumbaga, ito yung positive side. Ang mga Theory Y leaders, they are self-driven, they enjoy working, and gusto nila ng responsibility. Okay? Next, nasaan na tayo? Explain ko na yung LOQ, LBDQ. Ito na. Sa unsuccessful leaders na. Okay, sa mga unsuccessful leaders, ano ba yan? Namubulol ako. So, bakit nga ba yung ibang leaders, they fail? They fail because of specific reasons and not because they lack good traits. And merong 3 main causes ng poor leadership. So, according to Robert Hogan and yung mga kasama niya, ang mga leaders, they fail because of, number 1, lack of training. Wala silang proper training on how to be a leader. Hindi nila natututunan yung skills na kailangan para mag-lead. And another is cognitive deficiencies na kung saan medyo poor ang kanilang thinking skills. Hindi sila natututo sa pagkakamali nila. Hindi sila nagpaplano ahead of time. And wala silang strategic thinking. So dahil doon, ang resulta, they may repeat the same mistakes. And pwede din na meron silang mga poor decisions. Sa personality problems naman or personality, maraming ineffective leaders are insecure and nagpapakita sila ng negative personality patterns. Like for example, paranoid sila or they are passive-aggressive, ganyan. Dahil doon, hindi sila basta-basta nagtitiwala. And meron silang, ah, paano ito, may resistance sila or lagi silang nagko-complain pero indirect. Parang kunwari, imbes na mag-complain sila directly sa tao, ang ginagawa nila, magko-complain sila sa ibang tao. Indirect yung complaint nila. And also, they are, uh, ano ito, high likability floater. Ibig sabihin, gusto nila, gusto sila ng lahat ng tao. Kumbaga, ano bang tawag sa term na yun? People, hindi siya people pleaser. Basta gusto niya, ano, parang siya ang main event. Gusto siya ng lahat ng tao. Siya ang attention, nakafocus sa kanyang attention. And ayaw niyang gumagawa ng or nagde-decide ng mahihirap na sitwasyon. Also, narcissist sila. Isa sa mga personality problems ng leader, they are narcissist. Ibig sabihin, alam niyo naman ng narcissist, self-centered, feeling nila sila lagi tama, hindi nila pinapakinggan yung idea ng ibang tao, ganun. So, meron ding mga common behaviors of ineffective leaders. Una, yung mga illegal or unethical actions, umiiwas sila sa conflict like iniiwasan nila yung problema, mababa ang emotional control nila, lagi silang sumisigaw, ganyan. And they are over-controlling, ibig sabihin lahat na lang tignan nila, ganon. Poor din yung job performance nila, di sila magaling sa planning, organization, and communication. Uh, Madalas chismis or nag-share ng secrets, ganon. And they procrastinate, nami-miss nila lagi yung mga deadlines. At hindi din nila pinapansin yung pangangailangan ng mga empleyado nila. And also, hindi sila nagde-develop or hindi nila sinusuportahan yung mga employees nila. Wait lang. Ayan. Saan na tayo? Let me check your study mats. Ayan. Okay. So before we proceed with Fiedler's contingency model, Fiedler. Ayun. Dito tayo sa interaction between the leader and the situation. Ang mga success ng leaders, hindi lang kasi tungkol sa traits nila, kagaya ng sinasabi ko kanina. Pero tungkol din sa sitwasyon na kinalalagyan nila. Example, ang isang leader na effective sa isang sitwasyon, pwede silang lumagapak sa another situation. Hindi lahat is effective sila. And hindi lahat ay tungkol sa traits nila. So sa kay Fiedler's contingency model, which is developed by Fred Fiedler, ang sinasabi ng theory niya na ang effectiveness ng pagiging leader depende doon sa match between the leader and the situation. Okay? Hindi porket leader ka, kaya mo lahat. Hindi porket leader ka, magsaswak lahat ng personality mo doon sa sitwasyon. Ang pinaka-importante, ang leader, yung style niya, hindi siya mahirap baguhin. Kumbaga, kunyari ngayon, nagkamali yung isang leader, natuto siya doon. Sa susunod na sitwasyon, alam na niya na, ay, ginawa ko to dati, hindi ko na to gagawin ulit. So, yung personality niya or yung style niya, it develops over time. At dahil doon, mas nagiging stronger yung personality and mahirap na siyang baguhin. So, instead of changing the leader, i-change natin yung sitwasyon. Gagawa tayo ng paraan. Kumbaga, LPC or the Least Preferred Coworker Test, ginawa ito ni Fiedler na kung saan tinutulungan niya na i-identify yung leadership style ng isang tao and paano siya gumagana. Dinidescribe ng coworker yung um, yung list na gusto nila. So, yung mga answer na yon pinapakita kung task-oriented or person-oriented yung leader. Meron ding situational favorability kung gaano nga ba ka-okay yung sitwasyon. So, ang sitwasyon, pwede siyang maging favorable or easy to lead. Pwede rin maging unfavorable or hard to lead. And merong tatlong factors that may affect the situation. Una, yung task structuredness. Parang clear ba yung task? Organized ba? Yan. Clear ba yung task? Organized ba siya? Kung oo, mas madali siyang i-lead and mas madali siyang bigyan ng favor. Another factor that affect the situation is the leader position power. Yung leader ba, kailangan may authority siya. Kung meron, ibig sabihin, mas marami siyang control, mas maraming favor. Nagigets nyo ba? Parang ako hindi ko nagigets, charing. Okay, so, tandaan nyo na ang situation kailangan favorable, easy to lead siya. Pag unfavorable, hard to lead. So, sinasabi ko kanina, kapag ang leader meron siyang authority, mas maraming control. Ibig sabihin, mas madaling i-lead yung team or yung grupo. Yung leader-member relations naman, which is the most important, yung mga employees ba, gusto nila and pinagkakatiwalaan ba nila yung leader? If yes, ibig sabihin may cooperation at mas madaling i-lead yung grupo. Okay? We have the leader match or training program and it is also developed by Fiedler. Sinasabi dito na ang mga leaders, tinuturuan sila na intindihin yung sitwasyon, mag-adjust sila sa situation na mag-fit sa style nila. Example, pwede nilang baguhin yung team structure, pwede nilang i-improve yung relationships, and also pwede nilang i-increase yung authority if possible. So, instead of changing the leader, kailangan meron siyang ability to change the situation. For example, ang sitwasyon is everything is stressful kasi sabay-sabay yung mga dapat gawin. So, as a leader, instead of papalitan yung leader, palitan yung sitwasyon. So, ang gagawin para hindi maging stressful, one step at a time. Mauna muna yung pinakamataas na gawain na kailangan i-prioritize, then susunod, then susunod, then susunod. Okay, ganun yung sinasabi niya. I think class, stop ko muna siya dito sa situational favorability factors. Okay, wait lang. Next natin si impact theory. Okay, so thank you for listening. Meron siyang part 2.